Hi, my name is Carolyn Carney, and this is my presentation on whiteness in AI. My group's topic is How does whiteness in AI reinforce racial stereotypes and exploit minority workers? I'm going to be covering virtual assistants and chatbots. So first of all, let's define what whiteness in AI is. Whiteness in AI refers to AI systems, algorithms, programs, and designs that are biased towards white perspectives, values, and experiences. In this presentation, I will be focusing on white as it pertains to American culture and colonialism, with a focus on speech patterns and chatbots. European and North American societies normalize whiteness to an extent that it's basically invisible, but its presence reveals itself when non white people are in white spaces, which is the high tech industry. One way that whiteness presents itself visibly is through color. Not skin color, I'm saying actual color. Um, Check out the colors of the Apple logo. Anyone who's walked into an Apple store knows that they love the color white. And in American culture, white symbolizes honesty, innocence, faith, hope, serenity, intelligence, purity. As robots tend to become more human, they also tend to become more ethnically white and have features that are recognizable as belonging to a white person. Speech is another marker of ethnicity, and general American English is the prioritized language when it comes to finding the voices for AI chatbots.
And this sort of relaxes and turns more like so hot becomes high, cloth becomes cloth, and body becomes body. Next we have the or sound, and this turns thought into thigh, north into north, and force into force. Next with the R sounds, and you say every single R you see. So car becomes car, sparse becomes sparse, and aware becomes aware.
Now, anyone from Chicago knows that car is car, and anyone who's black in Chicago knows that north is north, up north. So the only time that I actually learned who was behind the voices and realized that there were human voices was when Siri revealed herself. Um, we're going to talk about that more in the future slides, but just know that Microsoft, Amazon, Google, they are the ones ultimately making the casting decisions. There is no audition. They get a big pile of voices that have performed hundreds and hundreds of lines of speech and then choose which one works the best for their campaign, which one is going to make them the most money. Another aspect of whiteness in AI is I've actually heard black voices in AI is when it's in a comedy form, when it's considered a joke. What if Siri was black? What if Alexa? What if Alexa was black? What would that sound like? It's normally contained within the frame of comedy, but why can't it be real? We all listen to artists like Megan Thee Stallion, have no trouble understanding her, and I just saw her in Japan, and they have no trouble singing along with her lyrics either. Whiteness in AI in its most brutal form results in dehumanization. There's a study performed with 3 robots, each of them having visible ethnic markers so that you could say one is a black robot, one is white, one is Asian, and the black and Asian robots experience the most verbal abuse, outright violent attacks, verbal attacks, and sexualization. Dehumanization in that study referred to sexual comments or objectification with expectation for sex. Finally, whiteness in AI results in the erasure of black voices from the future imaginings of what AI could be. Um, the casting is so prevalently white that it's hard to imagine what a black AI could be without going straight to comedy. So these are the voice actors who were ultimately chosen to become the most recognizable virtual assistants in our day. Siri is voiced by Susan Bennett. Alexa is voiced by Nina Roll. And Google Maps is voiced by Karen Jacobson. The voice of Siri is originally from Burlington, Vermont. In the 70s, she was the voice for Tilly the All-Time Teller, one of the very first ATMs. Again, she did not audition. She didn't even know she was the voice of Siri until Siri had already been implemented and was already out in phones everywhere. A friend ended up asking her, like, hey, is this your voice? um, one of the one of the comments she was told about her voice was that she doesn't have an accent. That was one of her ways to get in for work. She finally revealed herself as Siri in 2013. And I have a quick video to show you from her.
The first two iterations of Siri, she really had a little bit of an attitude. I know that the first time I talked to Siri, I said, well, hi Siri, how are you? What are you doing? And she goes, I'm talking to you. I think Siri would like to make an appearance and say a couple of things. Always face your fears. Always keep the faith. But most of all, always have a sense of humor. LOL.
It's easy to forget the very, very human basis for these robot voices. Alexa and Nina Roll, originally from Boulder, Colorado. And I list their birthplaces because I want you to know the kind of communities that inform the way that they speak. Nina Roll actually still cannot reveal herself as the voice of Alexa, but there's been a lot of journalism that went behind confirming that she's actually the voice of Alexa. And then finally, Google Maps. So I ended up finding the voice of UK Google Maps. I did want to focus on America, but she had the had the most data on her. A lot of these companies are extremely secretive with the voices that they choose. I think that they do want to hide the back end of it and not let people put these dots together. But Karen Jacobson is actually a singer-songwriter who wrote music for the NBC show Passions. It's a soap opera, and her voice has been described as one of reliability, comfort, and exploration. And she also was one of the only voice actors I saw that created her own brand called GPS Girl. And so she gives advice and has written books all around this GPS Girl persona.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Big Wireless has once again raised their prices. In response,
To the beginning, I'm originally from Mackay, which is a town in North Queensland near Australia's Great Barrier Reef. I wanted to become a professional singer and move to America. And I did follow that dream to New York, and not long after I moved there was an audition, and a client was looking for a native Australian female voiceover artist living in the northeast of the United States. And I went to that audition and I got the job.
Proceed to the roof. Proceed to the roof. Proceed to the roof.
At the time, I was told that the Australian voice was a high priority because the Australian accent was considered the most pleasant English-speaking accent to listen to, which is pretty cool.
which voices get prioritized, which voices matter. I mean, we have enough languages disappearing as it is. And we could clearly see which voices matter, which voices sell, which voices get prioritized when it comes to these tech companies. White voices, general American, English, or Australian voices. So these are some common bonds that I noticed. They're all still working. I was really surprised at that. They didn't just make a whole bunch of money and just retire. I also noticed a lot of sexism behind the choices of why AI sounds like it does. And you probably noticed it yourself that a lot of personal chatbots, virtual assistants, have female coded voices. And this reinforced stereotypes of women's work as assistants, secretaries, and companions. Some of these chatbots have very, very docile responses to outright abusive threats, violent language, and racial epithets. Bots are women coded to be pleasant, servile beings, and again erases the presence of minorities, and it disassociates them from imaginings of the future, which is one of the reasons behind the Afrofuturist movement, which is a type of philosophy and cultural aesthetic that values the African diaspora identity with imaginings of the future. So moving on to parody, again, this is one of the few ways, sorry, I live by the train. This is one of the few ways where I get to experience the Black voice as AI, and I'm not going to show all of these because I'm already running over time. But I do want you to hear this
about the first
Gabriel
show.
Iglesias
People were
joke.
asking Martin because people saw Stand Up Revolution season 1 and they know theory, right? And then I started thinking, can you imagine if a black iPhone was really a black iPhone? Martin gets in the car. Ding, ding. Siri, what's the temperature outside? Why don't you stick your head out the window? Ding, ding. Siri, talk dirty to me. You better not pee on me. Okay, I ain't like that white iPhone. Siri, talk dirty to me. You better not pee on me. Okay, I ain't like that white iPhone.
So as you can see, all of those concepts coming together, the dehumanization, the sexualization, the racist stereotypes of the loud
Most people have
black
no
woman.
clue that in 2023 the best way to make money on Amazon is not.
My next guest blows my mind, and 18 million views and counting. Take a look.
Starting route to 3730 Songbird Circle, 900 feet. Your destination is on the right. Arrived.
So there's no reason why a black woman couldn't be cast as Siri or Alexa or Cortana or any kind of robotic voice. And so, last slide here before I go, I want to review this study on robots and dehumanization. These are 3 androids that were given ethnic markers. Bina 48 is an African American presenting robot. And we have Nadine, a white presenting robot. And we have Yang Yang, who's an Asian presenting robot. Specifically, people exhibited more negative and more frequently dehumanizing responses towards Bina 48 and Yang Yang, which are racialized as black and Asian, relative to Nadine, which is racialized as white. In addition, people appear to more readily engage in this matter towards robots, which I think sort of makes sense because you're thinking it's a robot, it's not a person, it doesn't have feelings. But if race didn't matter, why aren't all of them receiving the same amount of hateful comments? As robots become more human, they tend to have a Eurocentric design with regards to their appearance, and that's also regardless of ethnicity. Like an Asian presenting robot will be made to have more Eurocentric features. Work without the workers is a term that I heard from a movie called Sleep Dealers, and it's the idea that companies want the work, but they don't want to deal with the actual people associated with them. So this shows a group of workers in a virtual reality factory where they control robots who are on the actual work site. Early chatbots, this one named Eliza, is a character from a George Shaw play, and that name was chosen because that character was said to speak with an upper middle class dialect voice, and she was a robot psychotherapist that ended up being discontinued because she would give really unexpected answers. Then there is Tay, who would repeat everything that was said back, everything that was said to it, and so users were making it say racist, xenophobic, sexual, filthy statements. And you'll be surprised to know that Microsoft and Google and Amazon troll Twitter and Reddit threads for their language models. That's still going on today, and both of those sites are overwhelmingly white. The idea of a white utopia, if you've never heard of the term white utopia, all you have to think of is Oregon. During the 50s, 60s, 70s, there were a lot of racist laws put in place to make Oregon white, to keep it white, to keep indigenous folks, people of color out of Oregon, to make it a white state. And as a result, it is a white state. Portlandia is a white state, and so is Seattle. And these are the same places where a lot of tech companies are springing up. So that further limits the accessibility of those high-earning tech jobs to black and minority workers, further exploiting them. Quick quote from Bell Hooks. Blacks, I realized, were simply invisible to most white people, except as a pair of hands offering a drink on a silver tray. So as you go forward, and you view AI in popular culture, maybe a TV show, maybe a movie, maybe when you're just using ChatGPT, think about how it could be more inclusive. Think about how it could better communicate with people that you know in your life, and how you can contribute to anti-racism in AI. Thank you so much, and have a good summer. Bye.